trouble as nude carnival shook Ghana hot. My brother, I am a fan of carnivals. I won't lie to you. When I travel to Trinidad and Tobago, I like to go to the carnivals, which is their culture. When we say a carnival, have you seen one before? We have women, men, mostly women, who wear feathers, colorful, and then they wear skimpy dresses like this. And they come to gyrate. Pum, 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 pum. Pretty beautiful women. I went to carnivals in Canada. I went to carnivals in New York, Labor Day, America. This is what they do. And the music is always hot. They gyrate and they dance. Now, this thing started somewhere in the 1700s. In the slave plantations in Trinidad and Tobago and beyond, music was not allowed on the plantations. But the slaves found a way of beating stones and hitting sticks together in order to make music and just make themselves merry. By the late 1800s, the slave owners were not able to stop the excitement on the slave plantations. If we don't make ourselves happy, we will die early out of sorrow. And then, in the 1970s, came a certain young man by name Lord Shorty. Lord Shorty introduced a new kind of music to Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, this is a country that is so good with calypso. You know what calypso music is? But he realized that, just like high life, a lot of the young people were seeing it as old people's music. So he decided to bring a new hip life, like we had in Ghana, right there in Trinidad. And he simply called it Soca. And Soca simply means the soul of calypso. The soul of calypso. Hey, this is Lord Shorty, the father of Soca. But he spelled it S-O-K-A-H. But a newspaper writer, columnist, spelled it wrongly, and the whole world accepted it like this. Even he himself. This is Lord Shorty. Hey! His very first big hit was Indrana. Now, Indrana became the very first official soca music. And all the young men, from that time till now, soca has been divided into two, the fast and the groovy. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister. Now, after some time, he said he had seen Rastafari and was not interested in the music that was making people come together and drink a lot of alcohol and misbehave and all that, as we saw in carnivals. So he decided to grow dreadlocks and leave the city and go and live on the mountains. And on the mountains, he had vegetables, fruits, and stopped eating all those things. In fact, he made a song that became so popular, it was even adopted for an Indian movie. I wish I could sing. I grew on Indian movies. He infused African rhythms into East Indian music. African music into East Indian music, and created soca. We remember him for that. And from when soca came, the carnivals have been hot. My brother, my sister. Then, about a week ago, these people from Trinidad, our own brothers and sisters, brought their culture of carnivals to Ghana, a country that is still conservative. They came, boof, boof, bam, bam, boof, boof, bam, bam, and they were dancing. When I saw this, I thought it was AI, because the breasts were too big, kind of. And AI creates this. But when I looked at this, as a man who knows how beautiful breasts look like, I was able to tell that no, these are real juicy breasts. Hi, ha, what is this? Hey, you know where this one is coming from? Look at this. They were here. My God, a lot of them came from Trinidad. And in Carnival, you don't look at anybody's body and start to say anything. Look at them. They took over Accra and the dance. And you see Accra, Carnival King. My God. And the men would always be behind the women, and then they'll be going like that. My God. Accra was on fire. Oh my God. Hey, all the beautiful women in Trinidad came to shake their bam bam. I shake your bam bam, a bam bam, a bam bam. Hey, I shake your bam bam, a bam bam, a bam bam, a bam 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 bam. Shake your bam bam, a bam bam, a bam bam, a bam bam. And the music was all Trini. Hi, Accra was on fire. The fetish priest came out and poured libation and prayed against this. One track broke down immediately. They poured more libation, as if the gods were so angry. It looked like the sun came out hotter. There was even a police escort. And a lot of the policemen, oh my God. If you looked at their flap like that guy who just passed, my God, it looked like they were having a good time. My God. This is the carnival. Ghana Carnival. First one of its kind right here in Ghana. And all the ladies descended from Mars, maybe from Venus. And they showed us the bam bam, bam bam, bam bam. Dash it away. Now come here. Jesus. This was what Reverend Ntim Fordjour, the MP for Assin West, saw and got angry. He was so mad and angry. He's a member of parliament. Recently, there was this issue about this homosexuality and all that got him roped in, and he had to wiggle himself out of the web. This is Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour. Hey, he came out vehemently, condemned this nudity, and called it an abomination. Assin South MP demands probe into alleged nudity at Carnival Kingdom Festival. It didn't end there. Oh yes, it didn't end there. My Joy Online also fired a shot. What did it say? Catholic bishops commend Ntim Fordjour over Accra Carnival concerns. Hey, the Catholic Bishops Conference praised him. And the news cars were all over. They even wrote a whole communique thanking Ntim Fordjour for showing love to his country and condemning this outrageous nudity on the streets of Accra. Hey. So we decided to place a call to Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour. And you know, when he speaks to us. When all the great guys speak, this is where they speak. We had an interesting conversation. Watch this.
Yeah, so Black Rasta, it's very unfortunate that the whole country woke up somewhere last week to see videos of a carnival, an event that some people purported to be foreign nationals from the Caribbeans in nudity, grossly indecent acts with their bodies and privacies exposed in ways that I wouldn't like to even describe on your show. And they were singing, dancing, and making merry all over our streets. Many people who checked it probably at the first glance might think that it was AI, but further checks revealed that indeed it was an event that happened, and there were some police escorts, and it was an event that is a major tourism event, and definitely the people at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts must have sanctioned. But what struck me was the fact that apart from it being a matter of moral concern, a matter of cultural concern, fundamentally it breaches at Section 278 of Act 29, Criminal Offences Act, where it prescribes grossly indecent acts. People going nude in public and such grossly indecent acts are prescribed within our laws. So I was surprised to find that in such an act and such a nudity festival, which was widely circulated and widely covered on our streets, the Ghana Police Service has some personnel, at least who had the uniforms purporting to be police, escorting them. What that meant was that they must have obtained permit for that carnival. So we are calling for probe. We are calling for investigations. Already we have had some preliminary inquiries, but we want it to be official. We want the government to conduct probe into it. Where did they come from? What kind of festival did they come to hold? And who sanctioned it? What is the complicity by the Ministry for Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts? Were they aware? Did they sanction? Ghana Tourism Authority? Were they aware? All the relevant agencies who regulate these matters, diaspora and affairs, what engagement went on? What due diligence went on before they sanctioned this festival? Knowing very well that these acts affront our laws and they are repugnant to our values and our beliefs as a country. The second thing we want to find out is who gave them the permit for police escort, and did they receive or did they grant the permits under the pretext that they were approving a decent festival, and when on hindsight the men in uniform went to escort them and they realized that this is a kind of festival, nudity festival, almost walking naked on the street. Why didn't they immediately seize that escort? Why didn't they call off the carnival? Why didn't they draw the attention of the authorities that this particular escort you sanction us to, conduct or undertake affront our laws, and the Ghana Police Service cannot be a part of it. They should have escalated it, or the superiors to have acted immediately to stop that grossly indecent act. But as we see it, it was state sanctioned, and the state is highly complicit in it, and that complicity is what we seek to determine and we seek to unravel. And so far, if the state was complicit, we haven't had any statement from the Ghana Police Service. We haven't seen any statement coming from the Minister for Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts. We haven't seen any statement from Ghana Tourism Authority. We haven't seen any statement coming from the Diaspora Affairs Office and the Office of the President. None has come out to condemn. So are they all approving that this is how our streets should be desecrated? Recall that recently some gay couple came to Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, Independent Act, our most sacred monument, to desecrate it. Nobody issued any statement. Nobody condemned it. And so this time we have seen another act on our streets, which is grossly indecent act. And that is where we are seeking answers. We are asking questions that beg for questions, but that beg for answers. We are seeking a probe. And I want to commend highly the Catholic Bishop Conference for their swift statement, very detailed, which is basically calling for probe and indicating, the repugnance of the Christian community at these, and fundamentally referring to our laws Act 29, Section 278. These are laws that sit on our books to preserve the sanctity of our public morality. So we are seeking answers, and we're hoping that this probe, we're demanding that this probe commences as soon as possible.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference has praised you a lot. Would you see that as enough impetus for you to move on and do more?
It's quite humbling. It's quite humbling, I must say. When I saw the statement and saw that the revered eminent clergy, the Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, had mentioned the very modest public service I was offering. In fact, I was humbled, and I think that we all have to continue to do what is right. We all have to become the voice of conscience and the moral voice that would demand accountability on the people in government whose mandate it is to ensure public morality. I think that it was my fundamental duty as a member of parliament, as a minister of the gospel, and as someone who believes in our laws and believes in public morality. So we'll continue to do what we have sworn to do for our country and our constituents. And we cannot do this alone. We'll continue to do in collaboration with eminent clergy, faith-based organizations, CSOs, and all voices, superior voices of conscience on our land. And on this particular note, we are excited to see the weight that the Catholic Bishop Conference is putting behind this demand for probe.
Interesting. Two more questions and I'm done. David in the Bible was so happy he danced naked to the glory of God. Do you think that this carnival can eat a little bit into that kind of joy, nudity, and happiness to the glory of God?
Very interesting scripture that you have quoted, but they are completely unrelated. Completely unrelated. And so, and I'm not sure any of the people who came to do this quoted, some of them who were interviewed by the public, by the media, had some very bizarre reasons which they assigned, and none of it related to the very noble scripture you have referred to.
Honorable Reverend Ntim Fordjour, MP for Asim South, not West. That's him. You heard him. He said it was a nudity carnival. He doesn't want to give it any other name except what he knows, nudity. And the Catholic Bishops Conference lauded him, praised him so much for standing firm and condemning this. That's it. Catholic Bishops Conference commend Reverend Ntim Fordjour for calling out the complicity of government in the grossly indecent act displayed at the Accra Carnival and demand probe. This was released today. My brother, my sister. So we decided to ask the authorities and find out how these people got the permission to come to Ghana and do a nudity carnival. And I asked, could this have been cultural integration and exchange? Do our laws frown on this? Would Ghana accept it? So I placed a call to the Presidential Advisor on Diasporan Affairs, KOD, Kofi Ochridako. This is a fashion designer. He's a fashionista. He's a model. He's a musician. He is an artist manager and more. He's a very brilliant chap. I like him. This is KOD. And KOD spoke. He started off by laughing when I said, quoting Reverend Ntim Fordjour, that it was a nudity carnival. Watch this.
I don't know if you want to call it nude carnival, Black Rasta. It was a carnival that was actually meant to showcase and highlight what our brothers in the diaspora or in the Caribbean, how they express themselves creatively in terms of having a carnival. I've been to quite a number of carnivals, including the Northern Hill Carnival. Over there, you see stuff like this, which is very normal. But then I also believe that when you're going into anyone's space or a cultural space, you should also respect their cultural norms. So, when I saw the commentary, there were those who were like, okay, I mean, this is not new to us. We have depot in Ghana. This is like depot, people wear stuff like this at depot. But I believe that's in a very small community. It's not something that's on the street where people are walking from town to town. So I am a bit like, it's a mixed feeling kind of thing for me because we still have elements of our tradition that exposes people's bodies like this. But I think for the organizers, in future, what we should do is also give them some orientation in terms of how things are done in Ghana. I won't really fault them, but I think it's only right for those who helped organize the events in Ghana to have also walked them through how things are done in terms of our culture.
If this is going to happen again, what would you want to see?
Oh, I think they should just cover themselves a bit more. That's it. I mean, it was a beautiful attraction, and the interesting part is, before the event, I didn't see or hear a lot of noise about it on social media, but all of a sudden we're all talking about it. What we're doing is projecting the next one. We're helping project the next one. So essentially, they should connect with us, work with Ghana Tourism Authority, for instance. They're coming from the Caribbean, of course. They are in the diaspora space or in the space of the president's envoy to the Caribbean, being His Excellency Kwesi Dakwa. Once they speak to people like us, I'm sure we can walk them through how things are done for us to collaborate and, of course, get our people from the Caribbean to be part of how we celebrate our culture as a people.
Did the organizers of this carnival get any nods from the authorities in Ghana as
I
in?
wouldn't know. I had a visit from a team of people who were organizing a carnival. In actual fact, I didn't even know it was the same carnival until the event was done because I wasn't invited to it. So I didn't know until now. Interestingly, Black Rasta, they also sent like a team to Ghana to record a documentary on High Life at 100, something that I think we've not even done in the country because this year celebrates 100 years of High Life music. And as part of the carnival, it's another thing they wanted to do, use that platform to also record prominent voices and faces as we celebrate high life music as at 100. So I'm sure they were coming from a good place, collaboration, reaching out, bridging the gap between the Caribbean and Africa. But what they should have done, or whoever walked them through how things are done here, should have been to, like educate them on how, we don't really expose ourselves so much.
KOD, Kofi Ochidako, is the director on the diaspora and affairs. Yes. My brother, my sister, this is KOD. And you heard what he said. Next year, he would like to see it happen again. But this time, they may have to cover up a bit more. And two, this is almost like depot. So, what's the problem? My brother, my sister, as we speak, tomorrow they are going to have a meeting at the Ministry of Tourism. We shall also have KKD. We placed a call to him, he didn't answer, and that is becoming so habitual of him. He never answers calls. He used to answer calls before he became whoever he is. But these days, he doesn't answer calls. You send him messages and you hardly get responses from him. His power beginning to get into his head or something. I don't like it when I have that feeling that people get a certain position and all of a sudden they don't want to answer calls from people, especially when they know that this is a way of propagating whatever work they are doing. Any which way. I want to believe that he's just being busy. and we'll get back to him and see whatever happens. Kwesi Chedakwa is the guy I'm talking about. So KOD actually spoke and he said KKD, he himself, and of course, I'm talking about their outfits, and then the Minister of Tourism would all sit together and be able to, discuss this properly. And then they'll give us information as to what they have decided. In the interim, Reverend Ntim Fordjour seems to be the man that the Catholic Bishops' Conference is happy about and is asking for a probe. We'll have more information tomorrow. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power.